Listen up, because this is where most people miss the mark. You might think she's completely indifferent when you distance yourself, assuming she's moved on without a care. But deep down, she's feeling it more than you realize. The silence messes with her mind in ways you wouldn't expect. Initially, she'll put on a tough act, pretending it doesn't faze her. But when she's alone and the noise fades, that's when everything begins to shift. And here's the twist. It's not the silence itself that gets to her. It's the unexpected aftermath that makes her miss you even more. Stick with me until the end of this video, and I'll show you how to leave a lasting impact and make her feel your absence like never before. 1. She reaches out of nowhere. At first, she promised herself she wouldn't reach out. She convinced herself that she's better off without you, that she can handle it. But now, things have changed. Her fingers linger over your contact name, hesitating, unsure whether to send the first message. She might have held out for days, even weeks, trying to keep her distance and convince herself that ignoring you gives her power. But silence has a funny way of making people second-guess everything. So, what does she do? She subtly breaks the silence, but it's never anything too obvious. It won't be a direct, "I miss you" or "I made a mistake." Instead, she'll send something casual like, "Hey, I saw something today that made me think of you." It's the perfect way to restart a conversation without seeming desperate. The real meaning. "I wonder if you've forgotten about me." She might even leave a quick like or comment on one of your older posts. It's her way of testing you, seeing if you'll react. But don't be fooled. This is a calculated move. She's trying to gauge if you still care. If you respond quickly, she might pull back, acting distant because she got what she needed. But if you ignore it or respond coldly, that's when her anxiety kicks in. That's when you know she misses you for real, because if she didn't, she wouldn't be checking in at all. Once she notices your absence, her pride takes a hit, and that's when she starts trying to draw you back in without saying it outright. 2. She gets extra active on social media. Ever notice how, the minute you go silent, she suddenly starts posting a lot more? Trust me, it's not a coincidence. When someone misses you but refuses to admit it, they'll find subtle ways to grab your attention, without having to be the one to reach out first. Enter social media. She starts sharing more selfies than usual, looking especially radiant, as if she's thriving without you. She throws up cryptic captions like, "Everything happens for a reason," or "Lessons learned," that make you wonder if they hold a hidden meaning. Maybe she even posts a song lyric that speaks of longing, heartbreak, or missing someone. Could it be about you? She's sending up a digital flare, hoping you'll catch it. She might share a throwback pic from a time you two were close, intentionally pulling you into the past. Or maybe she shares something about relationships, heartbreak, or personal growth, stuff she knows will make you pause and wonder. And sometimes she might post pictures with other people, not because she's moved on, but because she wants to spark a reaction from you. Classic psychological game, trigger jealousy to get you to act. She's planting seeds of doubt, trying to make you question, has she really moved on? The more you stay silent, the crazier it drives her. In her mind, if those little emotional triggers aren't working, it means she's losing control. 3. She starts inquiring about you through mutual friends. When she's missing you but too proud or hesitant to make the first move, she'll get creative and start fishing for information. Instead of reaching out directly, she'll casually ask your mutual friends, "How's he been?" or "Has he been seeing anyone?" The real question lurking underneath those words is he okay without me? She wants to know if you're struggling, if you miss her, or if you're thriving. Here's the kicker, though. The more she hears that you're fine and unbothered, the more it stings. She thought you'd be checking her social media, maybe even trying to contact her, but instead you're silent, almost indifferent. That drives her wild. In her mind, if you truly cared, you would still be thinking about her. So now she starts second-guessing herself. Was I not that important to him? Did he move on already? Wait, what if he's seeing someone else? Those thoughts start creeping in, and that's when everything shifts. The control she once had slips away. Now you're the one calling the shots. 4. She suddenly shows up where you are now. Things are about to get interesting. If she knows the places you frequent, like your gym, your favorite coffee shop, or that spot you always go to unwind, get ready. You might start running into her unexpectedly. Coincidence? Not a chance. This is all part of her plan. She knows that if she shows up looking good and exuding confidence, you'll definitely notice. She might play it cool, acting surprised when she bumps into you, but don't be fooled. Deep down, she knows exactly what she's doing. At this point, you're not just encountering her by chance. It's calculated, and she's hoping you'll be drawn in. Once you start recognizing these subtle signs, you'll know how to handle them in a way that keeps your power intact. Remember, actions often speak louder than words, so stay alert to the little signals she's leaving behind. 5. She starts dropping hints that she regrets losing you. When someone misses you deeply, they'll begin sending signals they want you back without actually saying it out loud. She might post something on social media about learning from past mistakes, or even text you out of nowhere, reminding you of a shared memory. Perhaps she'll surprise you with a message like, "I miss talking to you," as if it's no big deal, but you both know it's more. And the biggest sign of all, she might actually apologize, even if it's subtle, like, "I know I could have handled things better," or "I didn't appreciate you enough. I never wanted things to end this way." At this point, her pride is crumbling. She realizes what she's lost, and now she's wondering, will you let her back in? That's the million-dollar question. If you want to keep her on edge, though, the best move is to leave her with a sense of uncertainty. Once a woman truly grasps that she's lost someone she cares about, it sticks with her, and she won't easily forget it. 6. She becomes overly emotional or defensive. At first, she acted like nothing had changed. She played it cool, pretending losing you didn't hurt her. But over time, the absence of your presence starts to hit her, and she doesn't know how to deal with it. She convinced herself she was strong enough to move on quickly, maybe even telling herself that cutting you out was the best decision. But emotions don't just vanish. The deeper her connection to you, the stronger the emotional fallout will be when she realizes she can't have you anymore. So what happens? She starts to become emotionally unpredictable. One minute she's posting upbeat selfies out with friends, trying to convince the world and herself that she's better than ever. The next minute, her mood flips. She might start picking fights with friends, family, or even strangers over things that normally wouldn't bother her. She'll lash out over insignificant things, and you'll notice a shift in her behavior that's rooted in emotional turmoil she's refusing to face. Here's the twist. If you bump into her or have any indirect contact, you might notice her acting cold or even snapping at you for no reason. You might think it's a sign she doesn't care anymore, but the truth is, if she didn't care, she wouldn't be reacting this way. A woman who's truly moved on won't go out of her way to act distant, post cryptic messages, or try to provoke jealousy. The fact that she's emotionally unstable or easily triggered shows she's still holding on to something deeper, and she just doesn't want to admit it. This is where the power dynamic shifts. While she's losing control over her emotions, you're staying calm, collected, and in charge of your own life. Trust me, that imbalance, it's eating her up inside. 7. She starts reappearing in places you used to go. One of the clearest signs a woman misses you is when she suddenly starts showing up in places she knows you frequent. You might want to call it a coincidence, but trust me, it's not. A woman who's truly trying to move on won't go out of her way to be in places that remind her of you. She'll avoid spots that bring back memories. But when she misses you, she'll subconsciously look to recreate those moments, hoping to trigger some connection. So, how does it play out? She starts showing up in the places you usually go, even if she never cared about them before. Maybe you've always had your coffee at a certain shop, and suddenly she's there every time you show up. Or she might join the gym you go to, or find a way to be at the same events or gatherings as you. It may even seem like a coincidence when you run into her at the grocery store, even though you know she never shops there. She could also appear in the same areas you frequent, knowing your routine, hoping to catch your attention. When she's doing this, she's not just casually walking around. She's dressing up more than usual, putting effort into looking her best, hoping you'll notice her. She'll act like she's having the time of her life, but inside, she's scanning the room, watching for your reaction. What she's really trying to do is remind you of her, hoping you'll feel something when you see her. How you respond is crucial. If you approach her, act excited, or show that you care, she's won. But if you stay calm and composed, maintaining control of your emotions, you keep the upper hand. 8. She starts dropping hints that she's unhappy. When a woman misses you but is too proud to admit it, she'll start revealing subtle signs that she's not as okay as she wants you to think. At first, she'll post pictures of herself having fun, hanging out with friends, and acting like her life is perfect, like she's moved on without a second thought. But over time, small cracks start to show. She might share a sad song lyric that hits too close to home, post a quote about losing something important, or even share a photo of an old spot you used to go to, with no context, leaving you to wonder if it's intentional. All these little clues, they're not accidental. They're her way of hoping you'll pick up on them and reach out. Deep down, she doesn't want to break the silence herself. She's hoping you'll make the first move so she can convince herself that you still care, that you couldn't help but think about her. But here's where the true power lies. The longer you let her sit in that regret, the more she'll realize that the one who messed up was her. Now she's facing a choice. Swallow her pride and admit she was wrong, or risk losing you for good. 9. She tries to make you jealous. When a woman deeply misses you, but is frustrated that you haven't chased after her, she might turn to jealousy as her secret weapon. She could post a picture with another guy, hoping you'll see it and feel a pang of jealousy. Maybe she mentions casually dating someone new to a mutual friend, knowing it will make its way to you, or she might flirt openly with someone else, hoping to get a reaction from you. Here's the truth. If she was truly over you, she wouldn't feel the need to prove anything. The fact that she's actively trying to make you jealous isn't a sign of moving on. It's all about testing you. She wants to see if you still care. She's pushing your emotional buttons, hoping for some kind of response. But here's where you need to be smart. The worst thing you can do is fall into her trap. If you act jealous, text her, or show that you're emotionally affected, she'll know she still holds power over you. The best thing you can do, stay calm, unbothered, and unaffected. The more she realizes her tricks aren't working, the more frustrated she'll become. And that, my friend, is when the power dynamics really begin to shift in your favor. 10. She finally breaks down and reaches out. This is the tipping point. After all the cryptic posts, subtle hints, and failed attempts to make you jealous, she comes to a hard realization. None of it's working. That's when she does what she swore she wouldn't do. She finally reaches out directly. It might start off casual, like, "Hey, how have you been? Just wanted to check in," or maybe even a seemingly random text, pretending like it's no big deal. But don't be fooled. Deep down, she's been thinking about you non-stop. She's reached a point where she can't hide it anymore. Now, the real question is, how will you respond? This moment could be the turning point where she misses you more than she ever imagined. If you play it right, you'll leave her yearning for you even more, but if you fall into the trap of emotional overreaction, you risk losing control. 11. She starts comparing every man to you. When a woman truly misses you but is trying to move on, she might start searching for someone to take your place. At first, she convinces herself that she's ready to date again. She might download dating apps, go on dates, or start talking to other guys. But here's the catch. The more she interacts with them, the more she realizes they don't come close to you. Why? Because you've left an emotional mark on her that she can't shake. She might try to ignore it at first, telling herself, I just need time to get to know this new guy. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe I just miss having someone around, not necessarily him. But slowly the comparisons start to hit harder. His sense of humor isn't the same as yours. He doesn't understand her like you did. Conversations feel forced, awkward, or lack the depth she had with you. Then comes the kicker. It's not just the guy who's different, it's her too. When she was with you, she felt a unique emotional connection. Now she's stuck in shallow interactions that leave her unfulfilled. That's when the real regret starts to creep in. She replays old memories with you, starts questioning her decisions, and wonders if she made a huge mistake. Most importantly, she now knows for certain you were irreplaceable. 11. She starts comparing every man to you. When a woman truly misses you but is trying to move on, she might start searching for someone to take your place. At first, she convinces herself that she's ready to date again. She might download dating apps, go on dates, or start talking to other guys. But here's the catch. The more she interacts with them, the more she realizes they don't come close to you. Why? Because you've left an emotional mark on her that she can't shake. She might try to ignore it at first, telling herself, I just need time to get to know this new guy. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe I just miss having someone around, not necessarily him. But slowly, the comparisons start to hit harder. His sense of humor isn't the same as yours. He doesn't understand her like you did. Conversations feel forced, awkward, or lack the depth she had with you. Then comes the kicker. It's not just the guy who's different, it's her too. When she was with you, she felt a unique emotional connection. Now she's stuck in shallow interactions that leave her unfulfilled. That's when the real regret starts to creep in. She replays old memories with you, starts questioning her decisions, and wonders if she made a huge mistake. Most importantly, she now knows for certain you were irreplaceable. 12. She becomes more nostalgic than ever. When a woman misses you deeply, she starts reliving the past in ways she never expected. She scrolls through old pictures of the two of you, watches videos you made together, and laughs at the inside jokes that only you two shared. What's happening here? She's reinforcing that emotional bond that's still very much alive within her. Suddenly, everything reminds her of you. A song comes on the radio, and it hits her with a wave of memories. The scent of your cologne lingers in the air, and she's flooded with thoughts of you. She passes a place you both loved, and it's like a punch to the gut. She might try to hide these feelings, pretending they don't matter, but no matter how hard she fights it, nostalgia has a way of sneaking up on her. Here's the kicker. The more she's engulfed in these memories, the more she starts associating you with the happiest moments in her life. The deeper this feeling runs, the harder it becomes for her to let go. So if she reaches out, it won't just be because she misses you. It'll be because she's reached a point where she can't stand the idea of not having you in her life anymore. If this video gave you insight, hit the like button and subscribe for more. And if you want to learn how to make her miss you even more, check out the next video on your screen now.